Regulation from the Inside Out, book by Carolen Hope. Today I'm having a conversation with Carolen. So thank you, Carolen, for joining me. I'm going
Uh-huh.
to ask a few questions today and then kind of carry this conversation on a few different times with some more questions, but so we don't get too long-winded. Nervous system talk, big favorite subject of mine. So first, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, Carolen.
Uh-huh. I'm glad to be here.
So what is self-regulation and why is it important?
Self-regulation, we can think about it as the ability to maintain a calm nervous system. It is a set of mind-body processes that allow us to pay attention, manage our energy level, manage our emotions, act in ways that are aligned with our goals and values. And it's really characterized by qualities like being present, being emotionally available, being responsive rather than reactive. So it's foundational to our behavior. And let's see, what else did you ask? You asked, why is it important? Well, it's foundational to our behavior. It allows us to interact in ways that are pro-self and pro-social. It allows us to be successful. There's a lot of science around people who are really masters at regulating their nervous systems and how they achieve at a higher level, how they can be successful in life. It's the basis for resilience and a sense of well-being. So it's very foundational to our happiness and to our health.
So what is dysregulation?
Dysregulation is the lack of those skills. It's really a state of body, a state of mind, a state of our emotions that are not aligned with our highest goals or our highest good. We know what dysregulation feels like. It's when we can't attend or pay attention to what we need. We're checked out or we're shut down. Emotionally, maybe we're out of control or we feel overwhelmed or we are aggressive, angry a lot, maybe even without knowing why. Um, we might not be able to think clearly. When we're dysregulated, we can't think clearly. We can't reason. We're not good decision makers. It could be that we're involved in situations that we know aren't good for us, that we know we need to change a behavior, but we're unable to do so. And oftentimes that's a regulation issue. That's a mind-body issue that is not allowing us to be the person that we know we are meant to be.
Is self-regulation the basis of our behavior?
Self-regulation, yes, it's definitely the basis of our behavior. Those are unconscious processes, they're physiological processes, they're emotional processes that are working behind the scenes with our body, with our thoughts, with our past experiences, and those are shaping or influencing our behavior. Oftentimes we aren't even aware of them. We don't know why we're doing what we do. I think all of us have had that experience. It's like, why did I do that same thing again? I don't want to do that. Why do I fly off the handle? Or why do I interact with that person in that way? That is probably a regulatory issue and one that fortunately those processes we're finding through science, there are ways that we can work with them directly
It's
to
kind of
change
like
our
what's
behavior. Uh-huh.
it's like what's the driver behind the behavior?
Yes, they're the drivers behind the behavior. I think about self-regulation as the driver and the needs that go along with our ability to stay regulated. Those are the drivers also, especially for dysregulation. Oftentimes they're unconscious. We don't recognize them, but there are ways that we can access them and there are targeted interventions that we can use to shift them. We know,
So
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're saying we can manage our nervous system and we can positively impact our influence our lives with that.
Absolutely, because in a way, these are because we can break down some of these skills, like learning to monitor ourselves, learning uh, to access tools in the moment. Those are learning to reflect on how things have gone. Those are ways that we can impact our behavior. Whereas in the past, it's really been about I just have to do this new thing. But there weren't any micro skills or there weren't any ways in. Now that we know that regulation, self-regulation is such a mind-body process, we can approach it from on many different levels. We can approach it through mindfulness. We can approach it through exercise and techniques that really um, target the body or our physiology. So it's a more hopeful model of behavior change, really, and transformation.
Why do you describe self-regulation as a mind-body system?
Because the brain is involved, because the mind is involved, the emotions are involved, those are the foundation for behavior. So we know that there is that there's a whole dynamic interplay of those pieces. And it involves the body. Behavior isn't just about, I know the rule and I follow the rule and I do what's best. We know that there are physiological drivers, that there are drivers within the brain that have been influenced by negative past experiences that we want to be able to shift in some way so that we are more available to the possibility of acting in a way that is in accord with our highest good.
Well, thank you for these insights today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Since I didn't really, I kind of said you're an author and showed your book and everything, but for any of the listeners and watchers, do you want to tell them a little bit about your background quick?
Sure. I am a clinical psychologist. I began my career in education. Right now, I'm in private practice. I treat and deal with adults with issues of stress and trauma. Um, I wrote the book. While I wrote the book for, say, people who are working with children, there are a lot of examples that deal with children in the book. It really, the content and many of the experiences are really useful and beneficial for all adults, for all of us, for anyone who's interested in that self-knowledge, looking to move toward greater integration, well-being, health, happiness. So,
For the parent, for the teachers, for the counselors, just a
yeah,
general background. Love it. Perfect.
yes,
Thank you for sharing all of that. I appreciate it. And thank you for joining me today.
yes. Thank you, Joel, for
And I
having me.
look forward to bringing you back and having some more of these discussions as I continue to read through your book.
Uh-huh.
So thank you.
Great. Thank you.